Wayne, you've recently been with UEFA talking about pyrotechnics and the dangers of everything. Can you explain a little bit about everything that's going on?
Yeah, UEFA have done an in-depth study with Dr. Tom Smith on behalf of UEFA and Football Supporters Europe, where they study in the use of pyrotechnics, and the conclusions from the report determine really that no safe use of pyrotechnics is possible within a crowded area, whether that be inside or outside stadium. And this is because all pyrotechnic devices come with a safe working distance, which is marked on the individual pyrotechnic device, if it is a legal device, that is. And as such, these pyrotechnics have to have a safe working distance, and these cannot be achieved in closely packed places of public assembly inside and outside the stadiums.
So in terms of some of the dangers, what are the kind of things that can happen?
There's various types of pyrotechnics, and you're talking things that we see most commonly probably in the British football game are the smoke grenades, and there's problems there with some of the fumes and gases given off by these, which cause problems to people with respiratory problems and such. And then you go to the other extreme then, where are the Bangla lights, as they call them, and the flares, which burn at 1600 degrees, and you drop one of them on yourself, you know, then burns are horrendous. And then we go to the most extreme devices then, which are the marine distress flares, which launch and fire off. And as we know from a previous experience in the Millennium Stadium, you know, that they can be absolutely catastrophic.
And are any of them banned? Are they illegal, or are you able to buy them over the counter, but it's just the space in which they're operated in? Yeah,
it's very much about purchasing them and using them for the correct use. So all pyrotechnics contain explosive particles, and so they are classed by the South Wales Police and by the British Police as explosive devices if not used in the correct context. So marine distress flare, if you're a boating enthusiast and you go to the correct place, you can buy them for its intended purpose. You know, a lot of the smoke grenades are used in the paintballing industry, and that's where a lot of those devices come from. They need to be used in the correct method, following the manufacturer's instructions, and those instructions cannot be met in football stadia. We understand, you know, that the football is a passionate game, but no safe use of pyro is possible.
And in terms of the usage, what can happen to a fan if they were to be found bringing one to a football match?
Well, for us, you know, it's a condition of entry. You would fail the ground conditions, so we would certainly refuse you entry. We would then hand over to the police officer, and then it depends on the severity and the type of device on whether you would be arrested. It's an offence under the Football Offences Act, and so you're likely to be arrested and ultimately be given a 3-year football banning order for use of.
And in terms of the stewarding of these kind of things, is the FAW providing training to the stewards at our matches in order how to handle them safely?
Absolutely. It's a phenomenon that is in Europe, and it's coming across to the UK. And whilst pyrotechnics by and large is not a part of the British and Welsh football culture, there is a small element of use coming in, and it's something we need to take strong and firm action with from the off, so that we can eradicate it from our game, because it's not been a part of our game for hundreds of years, and we don't think it really needs to be part going forward.
And if anybody wants any sort of further advice, is it the FAW and yourself they come to? Yeah, we just get in like a 1 or 2 pager together now for us to issue to all football clubs, for them to be aware, because like the clubs and authorities, you know, have a duty of care, and allowing pyrotechnics is irresponsible. So we need to be able to give advice to our member clubs to make them aware of the seriousness of it, because we need to keep it out of the stadia, and also to make players aware that, you know, some of these devices contain explosive particles. And if you've seen the Mandzukic incident at the Euro in 2016, and also last year alone there was a steward in Holland and a steward in Belgium who lost part of an hand and several fingers by picking a pyrotechnic device up that exploded. So the advice that we give to all clubs now and we use at the national game is if a pyrotechnic device comes onto the stadium, we allow it to burn out, we use long handle shears to remove it and put it off the pitch into a safe receptacle.
In relation to the more common devices, if we are familiar and confident that we know what the device is, we may deal with it in a slightly quicker fashion, but the general advice to everybody is to let them burn out before you move on.
And just finally, in terms of your experience of being the FAW security officer all these years, would you say it is a big problem, or is it more a problem you're trying to stop from happening, really?
Well, certainly with the games I do on behalf of the FAW and UEFA in the Europa League and Champions League games, I see a lot more use in continental Europe, but there's a trend that, you know, is coming our way in some fashion, and it is really for us to really take strong action from the off and remind everybody that it is dangerous. FSF, FSE and UEFA have commissioned a report where we looked into it, and the conclusions there for everybody to see.